Davey, 1-0 defeat here in Paisley. What's your kind of thoughts immediately after the game?
Frustration, disappointment. It's an opportunity to pick points up that we've failed to take again, so disappointment and frustration.
Is it disappointment in terms of the performance or just the result?
No, performance was very much, well, I'll probably talk you through that. I think the game was very much how I felt the game was going to be played. I thought the first half, our defensive shape wasn't quite right. They managed to get down the sides far too often. The distances between the back three weren't great at times, but I caveat that with, I think we dealt with it after that, so they maybe got down the sides, got an entry into our box, but I thought we dealt with that okay at that point. I thought St Mirren shaded the first half, albeit we hit the bar. They hit the bar. They obviously scored for a cross, for open play, for the wide area. Again, they got down that inside channel, which was disappointing because I felt our distances at that point weren't great. But we managed to get them in at half-time, have a wee chat with them and tell them what we're looking for in terms of transitions and where the ball is and your distances and where we want used to be. And I think it was a lot better in the second half in terms of we probably shaded the second half. The difference in the game is they get across their front post and score, we get across their front post and Heyman saves it. And I think that's just, if I'm being brutally honest, that's probably the difference in the game, no? There wasn't a lot more to the game. Game became a wee bit open the last 15, maybe 20 minutes when we were trying to chase the equaliser. I thought the game became a wee bit erratic and chaotic. And when we did get the ball in the opponent's half, we were kind of all chasing that equaliser, and when it broke down or they got a turnover, it kind of led to us. It looked a wee bit chaotic at times, but we dealt with that fair enough. So I think the story of the game is the chances in both boxes. I thought, to be fair, I thought their strikers' link-up in the first half especially was very good. I felt our two, I thought Curtis had a good game today, but I felt him and Brucey needed to play a lot closer to Curtis. I think Brucey's link-up could have been a wee bit better today as well, but the longer you keep Brucey in the park, the more chance you've got to scoring goals. It's his natural instinct, so that was the difference in the game. I can't really digress any further. That's kind of what it was.
Bruce nearly had that kind of opportunity, as you said. He just a bit of a heavy touch towards Zach Hemming, but
I think he's got to do better with it, if I'm honest. I'm not trying to single players out, but I think he's got to do better there. He's also got the one in the wide right area. He's took the shot and it's no on, but again I'll caveat that with it's Brucey that sets up Noobs. For Noobs' chance, so he was getting in the areas. It's just one of the games, I think. All strikers, you can't have your strikers playing well every week, so to speak, but I think when you're sitting down the bottom of the table, you start looking into detail even more. The game becomes a wee bit pressurised and a wee bit stressful, and I think you can see that with the players just now.
Did see Joel Newbley in an unfamiliar position for him today?
It's part of the fans will no get. Dan Mackay got a badging as well, so Dan Mackay picked up a badging last Tuesday in a reserve game. That's the scans just came back, so Dan's going to probably about to turn of the year. You've got Jamie Brandon who can play there also. But I felt I needed height in the team today. I thought the set play would have been the difference in the game today, but probably no 100% correct in that one, albeit they scored for a set play that's offside, but they hit the bar for a set play. We hit a bar for a set play, so getting Joel in the team was giving us a wee bit more height for set plays for and against, but also I felt we never really utilised him in that wide area 1v1 with Tanzer, and that was a part of the game plan today, was trying to get Joel as high as possible in a 1v1 situation with Tanzer.
Do you think they try to counter that? Because from the commentary position, anytime nobody got it, especially in the first half out on my side, that it looked like they were kind of 2 and 3 over on Joel and trying they know the threat that he
yeah, and I think that's been happening to Joel all season. I've seen he's not been at his best. I'm not really buying into that. I think the opposition are now finding ways to play against Joel. Yep, I agree with that, but that's when our midfielders or our strikers have got to go and find the free man. We've got to look over and see where the free man is, because Joel attracts bodies. Curtis attracts bodies to him, and it's been a wee bit cuter on my use of the ball and a better understanding on the park when these situations do arise. We try and find the free man at that case, which is generally the other side of the park.
We've obviously just come off the back of an international break. Was there kind of a lot of work obviously put in that period, or are you more frustrated that came at that time because you just want to get back out and...
No, I was, to be honest, I think I was looking at it and going, right, Big Notch will get closer. Who I thought Big Notch was outstanding today. I don't mean it against the centre backs who's played. I think I brought Notch in, I brought Mick in, I had Ayo in the building, Paisley, Sean Kelly, Big Luigi, but I've not really had a settled back three in terms of week on week, bar the start of the season when we had Mick and Notch in the team. I thought Notch was very, very good today. What was your question? I've actually missed your question here.
It's about the international break.
Oh,
Did it come at a bad time or a good time?
No, because it allowed us to get Notch back training with us. It gave us 2 weeks with Ayo. Ayo's going to hopefully be involved in first team training next week. So I was probably for the first time in my Livingston career, if I'm honest, because I hate missing Saturdays. I hate Saturdays without football. That I was actually, do you know what? I was actually quite happy for that international break. It allowed us to do a lot of work in terms of the shape that we're going to play going into the St Mirren game. I felt it was important to try and get two strikers on the park today, but the game was very direct. There wasn't much in the game, but here I am again sitting here talking about a defeat being a wee bit unlucky. I don't really buy into luck. I don't really buy being unlucky. I'm not really a believer in luck. I think you make your own luck in life, and I'm the leader of this group and it's up to me to get more from this group. But negative, positive, but I don't think it was a lot in the game today. I've got very, very fine lines between the two teams, but they took their chances. It's why they're sitting third in the league, why we're sitting bottom of the league.
How do you get more out of the group?
Got to keep working hard. Got to keep working hard as a group, and we've got to stick together as a group. I've said it on the telly, I'll say it to you guys. That's 6 years in the Premier League now. 6 years in the Premier League. And I think, genuinely, this is the first year, me personally, I feel that I'm in a relegation battle. So we start every year in a relegation battle, without a shadow of a doubt. First meeting's talking about relegation, and we need to get ourselves out, and we don't want to be relegated. We need to keep this club in the Premier League. This is the first year for me. I genuinely feel that I'm in a relegation battle this year, and I'm not looking for outs, not looking for excuses, not looking for any of that. It's quite vocal at the start of the year. I said it was going to be a tough year. It's not played out any different to how I thought it was going to play out. But as a group, I know between myself, the staff and the players, we've got more than enough to keep this club in the Premier League. And it's about picking points up as soon as possible. And I think we've got more than enough in that change room to do it, albeit we've not been shown that.
Picking points up, we've obviously now got 3 home games in the spin. Welcoming Derek Adams, Ross County.
Is that a positive or a negative now?
Let you decide. Ross County at home next week under kind of new leadership with Derek Adams in charge. What do you expect from that?
From Derek, he's not a manager I'm familiar with. I kind of looked into a wee bit of what he done at Morecambe. Obviously he's got a game today, we've got somebody at the game, there's a game on Tuesday, somebody will be at that game. So that'll give us a wee bit of an insight in how Derek wants to set his teams up, where there's going to be a change of shape. At Morecambe I think he was roughly around 75%, a 4-2-3-1, whereas you look at historically this year Ross County have been a 3-5-2. So we'll be able to have a wee look at the game today, have a wee look at the game on Tuesday, and then I'll be able to probably answer that question in a wee bit more detail. Obviously
we do have to keep a little eye on that, but it's more about us, isn't it, and getting what we've got right on the park. And
whether we won the day, lost today or whatever, I'd be spending a lot of time looking at the opposition anyway, so the approach to the next game's not going to change. I'll make sure I watch the game, Ross County's game today. I'll make sure I watch the game on Tuesday night, and that will give us a slight idea, hopefully, how Derek's going to shape his team up. But again, within that, you've got to focus on yourself as a group, and that's what I'll intend to do.